What is up, guys? Welcome to the Built for Anything podcast. I'm your host, Hertz, and I have a really fun podcast for you guys today. I'm sitting down with the beautiful Mariah Hernandez, and this is a young woman who has a lot going on. She is a singer, dancer, model, businesswoman, and she manages to juggle all these things while still maintaining a 9-to-5. So in this podcast, we're going to talk about all those things, her passions, and we're also going to be talking about some of her insecurities and how you can overcome those insecurities. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed this podcast. We have a lot of fun during it. She's a great personality. We talk about dating, relationships, a lot of different things in this podcast to unpack. So I'm going to get right to it. If you're new around here, please consider subscribing to the podcast, the Built for Anything podcast. Leave your comments down below. Thank you for everyone who is watching. Thank you for those that are listening. Enjoy the show. Welcome, Mariah Hernandez, to the Built for Anything podcast. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, it's great to be here. So happy.
I appreciate it. So I'm gonna tell people a little bit about yourself. So you are a singer,
yes,
dancer,
yes,
model,
yes,
and business person, right?
Right.
And you do all these things, and you still have a standard, regular 9-to-5.
Yes,
That's amazing.
More like 8 to 5.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. I have a full-time job, so it's like I have to handle all of that and then do all my like side things that I do. But I mean, I'm not complaining. I love what I do. I'd rather be doing all of that than nothing.
Okay. You know, this podcast almost didn't happen because I remember I reached out to you and I said, and I'll go into how we kind of met, but I reached out to you and I'm like, hey, I think you should be on my podcast. It'll be really cool. And your reply is like, why? And I'm just like, sweating bullets. I'm like, I thought you was interesting. You're into this, you're into that. I figured you could mention this.
No, my first thing was, really? Like, why me? Like, out of all people, why me? But when you reached back out, you were just like, I think it'd be awesome. When I first met you, I found out all of these things about you, and I really would love to interview you. So to me, I really thought I had to think about it a little bit. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to make time. Like, I'm going to mark you on my calendar, put you down.
I appreciate that.
I'm really happy that actually, came. Like, it was great. Like, you're awesome.
Nah, I appreciate it. And how we met was at a photo shoot through a friend of mine.
Yes.
He was taking photos of you. I was doing some video work. And come to find out, this is your first time. That was your first photo shoot in that way, right?
Yeah,
in the water.
The way that I did it.
Explain that.
So I did a CoverGirl shoot. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to have all CoverGirl makeup, but I wanted it to be all the CoverGirl natural line. So I did basic, natural look. And I wanted to feel comfortable in my skin because I wanted to inspire girls and I wanted girls to look at me as, I don't have to look like all those Instagram models with so much makeup. So I came up with a project. And I reached out to Jonathan. I knew Jonathan from Instagram. Like, we just followed each other. And I saw his work on there. I loved everything that his photos were just really good. I love everything he posted on his Instagram
Yeah, shout out
page.
to Jonathan. He's a friend of the show. He was actually a guest on here before. Go ahead.
So I was, I reached out to him. He said, yes, like, let's make a project. Tell me your ideas. Send me some photos, some examples of the things that you want to do. So I basically gave him like a short little edit of what I wanted. And he made it come to life. Like, I'm really happy that I got to work with him. And then I didn't know you were going to be there. So we did like a small little video. And the video was, portraying me, confident woman. It was in the water, coming out, just being myself.
And you said this was this was pretty significant for you because this was almost like a coming out, like you've because the way you kind of described it to me was like, this is a photo shoot where you're kind of coming into your own. Yes. Almost, right?
Coming into being myself. I grew up with so many insecurities about myself, about my body, the way that I looked. I wasn't as thin as other girls. I wanted to be so skinny. You know, I wanted to be a certain weight. And I just wanted to come out of that. And I didn't want to hide who I really was. And I didn't want to pretend like I was somebody that I wasn't. So I just wanted girls to see how confident of a person that I am.
Speaking of confident, the business, right? That's a cool name though. Confident Fit.
Yeah.
How'd you come up with the name?
So Demi Lovato, shout out to Demi. She's been a
little bit. Okay.
She's been a huge inspiration to me. Just way she came out on saying, you know, women need to be confident in their body, and she didn't care what people were saying about her. So she came out, you know, showing every girl embrace your curves, and I love that about her. So I wanted to portray the same message. So I just thought it'd be really cool to have like a business. So I called it Confident Fit. And I started working with girls. I have a couple of clients that I'm working with at the moment. And just getting them, I had booty classes that I started, getting girls fit.
That's what's up.
So I love it, and I'm really happy because I have so many supporters, my friends, and especially my mom. Like, my mom's super supportive on, you know, helping me do whatever I want to do, and she's always there.
She was there at the photo shoot.
Yeah, she came
right?
on the photo
rooting
shoot.
you on,
Yeah.
which is surprising to me. I'm like, she brought her mom out. And
yeah,
like,
my mom
your
hates
mom
for me. Yeah, she hates for me to call her my best friend. She's like, I'm a mom, like, not your best friend. I don't want to be a friend to you. But my mom is my best friend. Like, I'll still call her my best friend. She's always there. Every audition, every photo shoot I do, my mom is always there, and I love that about her.
So you're not the only child. So how many siblings?
I have an older brother who is 23, and I have a younger sister who is 19, and she goes to SMU, so she's a track girl. And my brother, he works at State Farm. So,
okay,
yeah.
Okay, insurance.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So you guys are pretty close in age because you're how old?
I am 22.
Right, so 19, 22, and 23.
Yeah.
So you guys are all pretty close.
Very close. I'm very close to my siblings.
No, that's awesome. What got you into the fitness though? Like, seriously into the fitness?
Okay. I was on the dance team. I got a dance scholarship at Southeastern Oklahoma State. So I ended up going to college there, did my freshman year. And our coach didn't make us work out or anything. She just, dance practices was Monday through Thursday. Mm-hmm. And then we'd go, you know, have a performance on a Friday or Saturday. She never made us work out. So coming back home, I would come home on the weekends because I was singing at church. And I had to leave on the weekends, go to church, and then come back. And I was gaining weight. I was gaining that freshman 15, like, it hit me hard. And I came to understand, like, okay, I want to lose weight. Like, I need to lose weight. So I would go to the gym literally once a week, maybe two. And I just didn't like the way that I looked. And I started getting really sad because people were judging how I looked. I was getting called fat. People were saying, oh, she's fat. She's gaining a lot of weight. And it was really hard because I was a singer at church. So I was in everybody's eye all the time. I was on stage, you know. So it was really hard for me to take that in. And all that stuff kept hitting me. And I remember my mom sitting down with me telling me, like, if you want to change the way that you look, you have to make that change. No one can do it for you.
She's right.
And what she also told me is that I'm Latina, so the curves that I have, I'm going to have them. Like, that's not going to change. Like, I'm still going to have those curves no matter what. And she's like, you really have to embrace that, Mariah. Like, you have to embrace who you are. So I ended up working out. I would only do cardio. I would just go run 5 miles a day. No lie. I just get home.
Were you losing weight as a result?
I was losing weight because I put myself on a strict diet.
Okay.
At first, I was struggling with an eating disorder. I wouldn't eat at all. Like, I would just not eat. And I would probably just drink maybe a cup of water.
You was on the tummy tea diet.
Yeah.
No,
I know. What? No. But yeah, I wouldn't eat all day. And I would eat at dinner time, but I would eat like everything. Mm-hmm. And then I would go to bed. So I really wasn't like seeing results. And I'm like, man, why am I not seeing results? And one day my sister was like, hey, come to the gym with me. Let's go to the gym. And I was like, oh, a gym? Like, I don't lift weights because I don't want to be bulky. Like, I don't want to be a bodybuilder. And my sister was like, no, just come to the gym. And I ended up going. And that day I actually signed up in the gym because I met one of the trainers there. And he asked me how much I wanted to lose. He asked me who my inspirations were, what kind of body type I wanted to have. So I walked in there and he trained me that day. He gave me like a lesson on how to use the equipment. I fell in love. Like, I was literally there. I go to the gym 5 times a week. So I was there. Like, I was so committed. I'm still committed. I go to Fitness Connection, and
so you go 5 times a week.
I do.
Still now.
5 times a week. I go to the gym.
That is commitment. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm so committed to the gym. I found it an addiction because I started seeing results, and I don't take people's fitness classes. I do my own things. I see people's Instagram videos. I see girls that I like on Instagram. I'll save their video and kind of do what they do in the gym, and I started seeing results. Like, in about a year, I started seeing like really good results, and I started losing. So that really helped me. That really helped me a lot. And I also signed up for boxing as my cardio because apparently if you only run, your butt gets saggy. And
you gotta tone it.
You gotta tone it. So he's asking me, he's like, you gotta like lift weights. Like, you don't have to lift a lot of weight. They told me just to lift what I could, and I'll start seeing results. So I started doing that, and I loved it. And I take boxing as my cardio. So I love boxing. Oh my gosh.
Man.
I signed up.
It's so hard too. I respect boxers.
I know, me too.
Before, it's so funny. In Brooklyn, we have like this famous boxing gym in Brooklyn. And I remember I walked in there and I was like, man, because you see it on TV. You like, stuff is easy. So the guy's like, all right, come back tomorrow at such and such time, right? So I went and I got a trainer. And when I tell you, this guy killed me, and it was like, he was like, man, we didn't even, and I was just learning the basics, and I'm just like, are you serious? So I found a whole new like respect for boxing. I tell anybody, I'm like, yo, dude, I don't care what fitness level you're at, because this is something where you have to be doing that to be good at that. Exactly. So if you're somebody who run, or you somebody who do something else, that's not going to translate necessarily over to boxing.
No, not at all.
Like, your body has to be used to that kind of work, and that kind of work is
hard. It's not easy. And what I love about it is that I get there and I leave like super tired, and like the next day my body's sore, but I'm just like, I feel good because I know that I did what needed to be done in class. Like, I know that it kicked my butt, but like I still want to go back, and I want to experience that again because it's a great workout.
What I love most about it is that it's one of those things where you have to be mentally there, right? Right. Because if you're sparring with someone, you can't be like, your mind can't be somewhere else. True. Because like they're calling out stuff, so you gotta like really pay attention. Well, I feel like when you go into the gym and you get on a treadmill, you're running, your mind kind of gets lost. Whatever else, if you're lifting weights, you're just, you pick up your phone, you're looking on somebody like my mess. Like, there's so many ways to be distracted from the actual thing. But in boxing, it's like, people ain't boxing with headphones on. Nope. Like you don't play boxing. Like, not at all. Because it's a contact type of thing. So you got to be present. And I feel like that's a great way when you're trying to decompress or get out anxiety or anything like that. Like, I always recommend that.
Exactly. To me, it was like learning new choreography because I dance. So when I go in there and he's like 1, 2, 1, 2, he's like counting, I'm like, okay, let's slow it down because this is like dance. And I told my trainer that when I first met with him. He said it's exactly like dance. He said, but like get loose because I was so like used to being like so tight. And he's like, no, loosen up and like let's just hit. And when I counted a number, just think of it as like you're stepping in a dance. So I just took it at that, and it's a lot easier for me now.
How long you been dancing for?
I've been dancing since I was like 6 or 7. I remember this is funny, like the first dance I ever learned, I choreographed it with my cousins because we were really dumb. And it was to Nelly's song, Hot in Here. And I remember I wish I had a recording.
Very popular song.
I was really young, and I was the only girl, and it was like my brother and my other guy cousin, and we just like, hey mom, like we just made up a dance, like can we show it to you guys? And I walk out there and like we hit play on our little radio that we had because it was a long time ago, and my aunt was like, yeah, my mom, like everyone's cheering me on and stuff. So I think that was like the first time I figured, oh my God, I want to continue to do this. And then my mom put me in cheerleading. I was in drill team. Growing up, it was really hard for me to get in a studio. to take professional lessons because my parents didn't have a lot of money. And I learned everything from YouTube. Everything I learned.
YouTube Academy.
Yes, I'm self-taught. Like I look back and it's really like hard for me. I regret like not taking classes. You know what I mean? Like you had that feeling like, oh, I wish I would have taken classes. And like I know my mom regrets it. She's like, man, like if we would have had the money to put you in dance, like it would have made me. And I just respect my mom because she's already done so much for me. I don't take that for granted. So I definitely have so much respect for her, and I've learned so much. I've taught myself so much dancing, and now I teach it to kids, little kids, and seeing their face light up when I'm teaching them a new dance. And I'm teaching hip hop 1 and 2. So yeah, I teach kids. I think it's my youngest I have is 6. So I have like a 6-year-old is my youngest from like 7, and then I have like a teen group that I teach. So it's like, it's awesome to give. I feel like I'm giving back. I love kids, and whenever I talk to them, I always give them advice like, don't take these classes for granted. I always tell them, you know, come to these classes, learn what you can, because when I was your age, I didn't have this. This is what I wanted when I was your age. So, and I didn't have that coach. Like I didn't have a coach to push me to be a better dancer. It was mostly all of myself, and, you know, my mom pushing me like, you can do this, you know, even when I didn't believe in myself. So I wanted to be that inspiration to my younger kids, and I push them beyond. I'm like, when they can't hit a move, I tell them, I don't care if you mess up as long as you keep going. Like, keep going. I don't care if you mess up. Like, there's what's gonna happen if you mess up. So I love the fact that I can give back to my kids.
It's funny how, you know, kids have it so good these days, right? Like they have so many resources, so many means to get things done now as opposed to before. And they're so talented at a younger age, right? Like we're seeing younger and younger people do things, accomplish things that, I mean, like, you know, not to bring it up, but the fact that like they say Kylie's going to be like the youngest billionaire, right? The youngest person to ever be a billionaire, right? Because when you look at most billionaires, they don't really start to build their wealth till they're in their 40s. Like that's just statistically, right?
Right.
And then from there, it's like, okay, you have kids, and then your kids don't necessarily do exactly what you do, so they don't become billionaires, right? So I'm sure when you see this generation, it's like, man, they got so much energy. It's like you can mold them, and then, you know, they got so much to watch on TV that influences them. So it's like that passion is there. So I know you mentioned you do it also professionally. I think you told me that you do some background dancing as well. Like, how did you get into that?
At the moment, it was kind of weird. So I've been trying to get into a studio singing mostly. I've been singing since I was, how old? I started at 14. I started singing at church. So I took that to another level, and I've been working because I want to make an album one day. So I'm sitting here trying to like really, really learn on music, and I find this guy, Jahin, and shout out to Jahin. We ended up meeting, and he heard me sing, and he's like, "You're so talented. Like, you need to be doing more." And I kind of like wanted to do it, but I pushed it off a little bit, and I wanted to focus on dance. I set music aside for a little bit, and I'm like, okay, I want to better myself in dancing. What I meant by that was I want to learn new skills. I want to get better at hip hop, and I also love to do a lot of Latin stuff. So I love to do salsa, bachata, all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to focus on it. So Jahin had an audition for a Michael Jackson tribute in Dallas, and he was gonna like do a little small tour. So I have his mom on my Instagram. So I said, I messaged her. I said, please let me audition. Like, can I send in something? Like, what do I have to do to audition to get the lead part in Michael Jackson tribute? She says, make a dance to, I think it was Dirty Diana that I had to, and The Way You Make Me Feel, I had to make like a little small clip of choreo, just me dancing to it. And I did that. Like that night, I stayed in the studio for hours coming up with something because I really wanted this part. I thought it would get me great exposure to work with him. So I made my video, sent it in, and they ended up contacting me like that night. And she emailed me back and said, congrats, like we want you as this part. And I was so excited, and I
that's dope.
Called up my family and I said, like, I'm about to dance backup for Jahan. Like, this is awesome because he's met like Ice Cube and just so many people. And I was like, all right, like take this to the next level. Like, let me see what I can do with this backup dancing. So I ended up doing that. I got the Michael Jackson tribute. I ended up working for him for about 2 years. I worked with him and just gave me great exposure.
That's a lot of experience.
I got to be on stage, but that's like the best part. I got to dance.
What's the biggest crowd?
I want to say like, was it Truth Nightclub? We went to Truth Nightclub. Okay. And we went out there and there was so many people there. I was so nervous because all the costume changes that I had to do, about like 3 costume changes. And I was really nervous because it was my first time ever to do a big show. Like, that was like a huge show, a big deal for me. So when I did that, I felt, God, this is crazy. I didn't think I was going to do this. And I also performed at Prime. And I got to go out there, and that was incredible. And then I ended up...
It's all local shows? Or did you
It was all local.
Like tours and things like that?
No, it was all local. And I was glad that it was local because at that time, I didn't have a lot of money to travel.
Okay.
I couldn't... There was no way for me to, like, travel, like, drop everything and just go travel. I couldn't do that. So I'm glad everything was local, but I had rehearsals. I think we rehearsed a lot. And we just went over a lot of different things. And then I also danced backup for Kiosha. She's also a local Dallas artist. And I just did the summer with her, the summer of 2017, 2016. Can't really remember. But I danced backup for her, and we did like an explicit content fashion show. That was a huge
explicit content fashion show.
Yes.
So what's so explicit about it? Or was that just a catchy, just a name?
I guess it's catchy, but I mean, like the explicit stuff that I think I saw was just like girls coming out like body paint.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, it wasn't like crazy or anything like that. No, it was like body paint was like the big thing. And then she went out and she sang, and her performance was like the best of the night, is what I heard. So, and like it's me and 2 other girls. So it was awesome because I didn't know anybody, and like I kind of like going into that environment where I'm meeting new people. So I met these other 2 girls that danced with me, got us close that time we were working together. Now Kiosha's off doing her own thing, and she's doing good. Like I've seen her new stuff coming out, so I'm proud of her.
Ah, that's awesome. a lot of great experience there.
Yeah.
So I know you also do some singing.
Yes. So
wow. So that's pretty multi-talented.
Yeah.
Pretty multi-talented.
Thank you.
So how did the singing start about? Was that like you discovered your voice when you were really, really young, or did you develop it over time? How did that go?
I was 14 years old when I wanted to start to learn how to sing. I like to sing. I sing in like the shower, so it wasn't a really big deal for me. My mom always thought my sister was the singer in the family, and she thought, I was just like, oh, she's a cute little cheerleader, dancer, and she thought my sister was a singer. So, because I was like really shy, like I always kept to myself. So when my brother was learning how to play guitar at 15, and my uncle was teaching him. They were like in the living room at my uncle's house, and they were like sitting there trying to learn how to play guitar. And he was learning the first song I learned to sing was in Spanish. So I was like, man, I really want to learn how to sing. Like I really want to. So my aunt pulls me in. She writes down the song for me. And she's like, all right, Mariah, we're going to learn this song. And I was like, all right. So I started singing, and I guess it just shocked everybody. And my mom was like, okay, Mariah's got a little something going on. And that's where it took off from there. So I got the lead singing role at my church. So my uncle was the pastor at the time, and I was visiting the church. I didn't go to the church. Like I wasn't a member at my uncle's church. Like I wasn't a member. We ended up starting barely to go. Because me and my brother were both interested in being in the band. So we met with my uncle on a Sunday, and he said, Mariah, if you want to sing on this stage, you have to give me a commitment. So you have to come to church 3 months and come every Saturday to rehearse music, but rehearse and not, like you can't perform yet, but you have to come to church for three months straight. Like don't miss a Sunday. And I was so committed to that. I kept my word, and I went to church those 3 months. And after that, I was leading worship at 14 years old.
What?
And at that age, you don't really know what leading worship is. I was so shy. Like, I would literally sing with my back to the like piano and not to the crowd. I was really shy until I started feeling more comfortable. Then I would move to the middle of the stage. But like when I would sing, my uncle.
Is this a big church though?
Yes.
Because I know out here in Texas, you know, everything's bigger in Texas. So when you say church,
I mean, it wasn't giant or anything like that. I guess it was more of like 30s something. It wasn't a lot of people. It was a big crowd, but I mean, at the time, I didn't look at anybody. Like, I wouldn't be able to sing, you know, looking at everybody. I looked straight at the screen in the back, or I just looked somewhere else, you know, just to keep my mind.
Is that the technique that they tell performers is just kind of like, because you hear from different people, like some people say focus on one person, some people say just kind of.
My uncle always told me to look out, don't make eye contact, don't get distracted. So I always try to like look at a piece of the wall, or I'll look at a light. It's just something that's not going to distract me from what I'm doing, because I don't ever want to mess up lyrics or anything like that. So I just try to like look out in the crowd, you know, don't let people in the eye. I don't want to look at people in the eye. It doesn't really help me. But yeah, so I would sing even in my freshman year of college. My uncle said, I know you're leaving a college, and it was in Oklahoma. So my uncle was like, I know you're leaving a college, but if you want to keep your spot on the stage, you're going to have to come on the weekends. So I know most kids party in college and they have like their parties on the weekends and stuff. Well, not for me. Like I mean, I don't care. I never care to party. So I was never the party type. So I didn't really mind leaving on the weekends and going to rehearse on Saturdays. And when I say rehearse, our rehearsal, I'm a perfectionist. So our rehearsal was from like 6 to midnight on a Saturday. Then the next day we would sing at least 12 songs of service. Yeah, I mean, people think I'm lying, but I'm like, go to my church, like go see me, like watch me perform, and you'll see like it's all about music there, and I love that. I grew up with music, so it was destined for it to happen to me and my brother, and I'm really grateful that I got that experience. Now I'm working with a professional vocal coach in downtown Dallas, and he's been helping me so much improve. He's giving me great tips. I'm also learning how to play the piano, so I feel like it's great for me to get that, and I've already had exposure being on a stage, so I'm not worried about going up in front of a crowd or anything like that. So I don't know, it was really fun.
Do you sing? So you're bilingual?
Yes, right? I am.
So usually when you sing, are you singing in Spanish? Is it like? I do
both. At church, we do both. Okay. So I'll be singing a song and I'll switch it to Spanish only if they know the word in Spanish. But yeah, like I switch off, and I kind of wanted to do that. I wanted to show my Latin side off. I don't want to just sing in English. I want people to know, hey, she is a Latina chick. Like I want her, I want to hear her sing in Spanish, and I love throwing that in there. And I also dance on stage. So I do like a little salsa thing, like I do, and it gets people's attention. Like it makes people like want to watch. So entertainment has always been like who I am as a person. So I just really want to continue to do that.
Yeah, the fact that you sing and dance is a good thing, because most people could do maybe one and not the other, right? So you being able to put both of those together is a good look. Who are some of your favorite like artists? Like who are you listening to?
I love Alicia Keys. She's a big one for me. Her soulful sound, and people tell me like whenever I sing, like I have a soulful voice to me. So when they say that, I'm like, I definitely think of Alicia Keys because I've listened to her growing up. I love Demi Lovato. Demi Lovato. All her songs are so good. What I like to, I don't just like soul music. I love everything. So I grew up with Jackson 5, New Edition, Bobby Brown, Whitney Houston.
Oh, man. I just seen the Whitney Houston documentary.
Was it good?
Like, yeah, it's really good in my opinion. Because I learned something that I didn't know about her. You know, things that I didn't know about her, and there was some really intimate moments, you know, in that documentary. But it just reminded me how like amazing her voice is. Like,
and she
I had
sing.
to really like, after seeing that, like I had to really like, I went in my car and I just put on one of her songs, because like
I know.
Even in the theater when you hear it, it's like it just gave me chills, because it's like, damn, her voice was like some people like you
nobody
hear that
can
voice,
compare. Yeah,
it's like
nobody can compare.
Man, like you knew, like they knew, like you hear her sing at a young age, you like, nah, she gonna be a star, baby. Yeah. Like there's just no way. Like that voice was just like she had the highs, the lows, the mids, the whatever. Like it was just her voice was just amazing. And she was just so beautiful. But it's a shame how things developed. Yeah. But you know, things
I liked Toni Braxton. I love Toni. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I love.
Speaking of Drake, in my feelings challenge. So this girl hits me up a couple days ago, right? And she's like, you busy? I'm like, what's up? I'm thinking like, man, she gonna try to flop on me on this podcast. She gonna give me an excuse. I'm like, what is this? She's like, I need you to fix something for me. I need you to fix this song for me.
You already even
and I
knew exactly what I needed.
I was like, I bet you, because that morning, I kid you not, that morning I was going through my phone, like the first on Instagram, like every post I was scrolling down was people who was just doing challenges. And like people who were like, I didn't even, I'm like, I'm like, you doing this? It was just like the most unexpected. I'm like, you doing this? So when you hit me up and you like, oh, the song, I'm like, all right, you send the clip. I'm so you get out the car. I'm like, oh, here we go. So
no, that was so okay.
How did that come about?
I had planned to do like the In My Feelings challenge, and I just didn't know when it was going to happen. I was going to hang out with my girls that night, and we were going to Legacy West. We were just going to have dinner, and I was like, man, it's a perfect time for me to film my video. I saw everybody doing it, and I'm like, okay, I'm a dancer. I think I need a new video on my phone, on my feed on Instagram. So when we get to the place now, I asked my friend, I'm like, hey, like it'll be awesome if I film this challenge here. She's like, yeah, girl, let's do it. So none of my friends dance. Like they dance, for fun, but I'm like, I take it seriously. I take dance very seriously. So she was like, you do it. And I ended up getting my friend Jahan. We got in the car together and we're like, all right, we're going to get out the car. We're going to like film it. No lie. Like that video I sent you was probably like the 6th video I had taken. I had filmed it so many times, but like we had drove around for a long time. Had to find the right spot. And
the car had stopped. You're not, because I'm seeing people with the rolling car. Your car stopped. Don't do that.
No, we ended up stopping at a stop sign, and I'm like, all right, girl, let's get out right here. Let me get out right here. She was like, all right, Mar, are you sure we're at a stop sign? Like, are you sure you want to do this? I was like, yeah, like let's go. And it was like a crowd of people. Like, you can hardly see in the video, but there was a lot of people there, and there were a lot of people in the back were like, yeah, let's go, let's get it. I was like, yes, I loved it, but I'm extra, so I had to like do it at a stop sign. Like that was like the perfect moment to do it.
So we agreed that Will Smith had officially like
he took killed it. Yeah, he took it to another level. Like he killed that.
I didn't even know that. It's so funny, right? Like I didn't know at first. I'm like, did Drake do this dance? But then I find out that it's not Drake.
No, it was the Shiggy show.
Right.
Yeah,
he does comedy on on Instagram, and so I'm like. So from that, everybody's doing the dance, and I don't know if you saw recently, like even Drake had to thank him, like,
yeah, I saw that. I saw that post.
I didn't even, that song, like you just helped me out, like,
for real,
because he's like, I didn't even think of a dance to do for that, or even he probably wouldn't even did a video, anything for it. He probably still won't. He's probably because Will Smith just, he climbed up with the drone, and
that was like. Really like well thought put out. I'm like, that's a really nice video. And his turned out really good, like legit good.
Yeah. I think his was the best. Even Drake was like, okay, yes. He's like, video done. He's like,
I know, right?
He's like, I guess that's the video right there. So how do you juggle like your personal life with the dancing? Because I know you take it very seriously. It's something that you're very professional about it. But then you also have your regular life, right? You want to hang out, you want to do all those things. And I'm sure sometimes it might get in the way, right? If you got something to do really early, but it's a Friday night, Saturday night, 'cause you're young, you're still trying to. How do you balance all those things?
It's not easy. I'm going to say that. Sometimes it does get stressful. I remember having a breakdown one time because I'm like, man, I don't have a social life. Like, I don't go out. I don't do anything. I think this year is where I made was it 20? trying to think, like, yeah, it's this year. I made like a commitment to hanging out with my friends more, hanging out with my girls more, and just doing more things. My favorite thing to do with my girls is dress. I love to dress up. So we dress up and we go out to dinner, whether it be like uptown, we go have like a, dinner. We go salsa dancing. I invite my girls out for salsa dancing, or we'll just, just go hang out to a movie, or I just want to do things with my friends. It's not easy. I have to literally plan ahead of time to hang out with somebody, which I don't mind doing. I'm glad people respect that about me. They're like, okay, she's busy. She's not just blowing us off. Like, I promise, if there's people out there that are like, oh man, she never wants to hang out with me, don't take it personal. Like, it's not me doing that to hurt anybody. It's hard for me to make time.
It's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice. You don't gotta apologize. Yeah. It's if you're busy, that happens.
Yeah. And I just try to make time for everyone as I can. Like, people are like, all right, can you hang out with me on this day? Can you hang out with me on this way? Can I buy you dinner? Can I buy you lunch? And I'm like, I don't have time. Like, I literally, if I say I'm going to the gym, I'm committed to going to the gym. Like, that's my time. Like, that's I'm at work from 8 to 5. Right after work, I'm headed to the gym. If I'm not headed to the gym, I'm headed to the dance studio to my class. If I'm not headed to the dance studio, I'm headed to a private session with one of my clients, or I'm just headed to do something else. Usually on Fridays, I do go out with if I made plans with my girls, we'll go have dinner. Usually on Friday nights, I'm going home right after work and gonna relax and chill. And on Saturdays, I'm busy on Saturdays. Like, I have vocal lessons. So I wake up, I hit the gym, or I hit the boxing studio, then I'm at my vocal lesson in downtown Dallas. And I live about 45 minutes out, so I gotta like be there for parking. I gotta get there. I have a certain time I have to be there. Then right after that, I usually hang out with my family. I'm very involved with my family. Like, I love being with my family, so I always try to make time because, I'm gonna be moving out soon. So, I try to take advantage of the time that I have with my brothers and my sister and my mom. So I try to be there. And Sundays, I'm definitely committed to church. Mm-hmm. So that's my time to go to church. And we have family dinner that we do every Sunday after church. So it is really hard for me to make time to do things, but I love to plan ahead. So if you want to hit me up and you want to hang out, let me know ahead of time. Mm-hmm. Don't let me know like the day of or something, because I probably won't be able to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was a week in the making. I had to get on the schedule.
On my calendar.
Does it also affect, like, when I say personal life, in terms of like relationships, like dating, like, is that something that you feel people get turned off because you have so much going on?
It's a hard question. Yeah, I do feel that way sometimes. I feel like guys don't want to talk to me or stuff like that because of what I do. In the past, there has been someone that I really did like and I really wanted to get to know, and it didn't work out. And it was really hard because I actually really like that person, and it's just having to turn that away because I'm so committed to my things that I want somebody that's going to support me, and definitely like engage me. So I guess I just really haven't connected with another person like that. So I'm open, like I'm an open book.
It's funny because usually when you're busy, they say that, the person that you're going to connect with is usually someone who's just as busy in a way, right? Because it's kind of like you tend to value the time together a bit more because you know that apart it's not by choice necessarily, but it's because you're trying to make things happen, and you understand that you got to dedicate a lot of time towards it, and you have to reach a certain level of maturity to know that. And I'm sure, if you give it some time, but that's going to happen because most people, especially if they're not doing as much as you're doing, it's kind of like, they're like, well, I have all this free time. Right. You don't happen to have, so then they start wondering, are you doing it on purpose? But it's like,
yeah, I know people get like, they get turned off by it. And what I have, things that I have like 4 or 5 things that I'm looking for in a guy. And when I'm ready and I find those things, I'm going to make time for that person because we connect on that same level. Mm-hmm. So if if I don't find those 5 things in the one person that I'm trying to get to know, there's never going to be like, we're never going to get to date. I'm not going to be interested.
So 5 things. You know, I got to follow up because you were specific. Now, I just said things. Obviously, there are things, but you said 5 things. Yes. So these 5 things got to be important for you to narrow it down to 5. So what are these 5 things?
Okay, here we go.
On your list. Go ahead.
Okay, so my first one is I want to be, I'm not trying to sound bougie. I'm not like that. But I would really love to have someone with the same class growing up, the same class as I, because there's times where I love to dress up and go out to dinner, and I want someone to be able to go take me to a nice dinner or something like that. But I also love to wear the gym clothes, walking into Chipotle or something like that. Like, you know, I'm that kind of person. My second thing is I love a great personality. Be kind, smart, funny. I love someone like that. Someone that gets along with me. We can make each other laugh. I love to laugh, so.
Laughing is good for the soul. I always say that. If you can't make me laugh, if you
then we ain't gonna connect.
We're not gonna work. Yeah.
My third one is I put God first in everything I do. So I want someone, you know, have a relationship with God. I'm not saying like I carry my Bible around with me. Like I'm not saying that, but I do have a relationship with God. And you know, I read the Bible. You know, I read my scriptures. So I was raised that way, you know. Is that 3? Is that
3. I think it's 3.
Okay.
The Bible, good personality, funny.
My
3.
fourth
Number
one,
4.
you have to have goals for yourself. I want you to be a motivator. I'm a go-getter. That's what I'm looking for. Go-getter. I love to go to the next level. I love having a goal and wanting to reach it. And I want someone to be the same way. Like, I want someone to be passionate about something. I don't want it just to be me having all these goals and you just sitting there, like, not knowing what you're doing with your life. Like, I don't want that. I want us to be both supportive in each other on what we're trying to make, what we're trying to do to help each other. And the last one is 5. Let's see. 5th one. What can you bring to the table that I can't get myself? What can you bring in the relationship that I can't get myself? Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not going to be with you because you're rich. I'm not like that. So just because you shower me with a $300,000 purse, like, it's not going to make me like you anymore. You know what I mean? But what can you bring that I can't, you know, give myself? Mm-hmm. And I kept that in my head because that's exactly what I want. Like, I know what I want. And I've never really been in a serious relationship. So I've never, you know, experienced that. But I know what I want. I know what I'm looking for. So.
No, you got time. I could tell you, because I'm a little older than you, I could tell you that it's those are the things that you want to look for. And if you stay true to that, you know, those are the things that matter, right? Especially the God thing. Because we live in a society where it's like, it's not really cool. And I always tell people that regardless of what it is, like, you got to have a personal relationship because that creates boundaries for yourself, right? Like, my thing is, if you don't believe there's someone higher than you, then your ego has to just be too big, because you have to be humble to someone you have to be. And if there's nobody that you feel is above you, how can you really have a good relationship with somebody else? Because you'll always feel like, you know, you're above approach, you know, you're like, there's no one for you to look up to.
That's true.
Right. And so you always got to make sure that person has that kind of balance in their life, because most people don't. You know what I mean? Like, they just kind of feel like they just control their own destiny. They do their own thing. And I
mean, and there's been like some guys that say, yeah, you know, I have a relationship with God, and, you know, I go to church every Sunday. And then I find out, I'm like, you go to church every Sunday, but are you really listening to, like, the word of what you're supposed to be learning?
Do some whole different things.
I know. And it's just, don't lie to me. Like, honesty goes into, like, personality too. Just be honest with me. Don't be someone that you're not, because I feel I'm a very genuine person. And I'm gonna be straightforward. You know, if I like you, I'm gonna show you that I like you. If there's interest, you know, I'm gonna show you that. And I made the mistake in the past by showing all of that in like a short amount of time, and then not getting that reciprocated back to me. And it's just, it does hurt. Like, you're just like, okay, you know, I gave all like my time. Like, we're not even dating yet, but like, you're giving all that person your attention. And that's the kind of person I am. Like, if I find interest in a guy, I'm gonna get to know that one person. I'm not the type of girl that's gonna jump from guy to guy to guy. Like, I don't do that. So my attention's gonna be on one person, getting to know that person, to know if that person is real or not. So,
what's a terrible date that you've been on? Because I feel like there's a story there.
There
I don't know why. But
I feel like if I tell this story, like, the person's gonna know. Like, they're gonna know that I told this story. Like,
are you still seeing it? You're not seeing the person now?
No, but like, we follow each other, on, you know, on Instagram and stuff. He's gonna be like, "Was she talking about me?" Should I tell you anyway?
Yes. The people want to know.
Okay, so I go with this guy. I think he's about a year younger than me. Yeah, he's a year younger than me. I'm not gonna say his name.
No.
But he asked me out, and I'm like, okay, you know, he's pretty cute, and he was really getting to know me. Like, he DM'd me on Instagram, and he was like, you know, asking me, like, what do you do? And he was just asking me questions. He asked me a lot of questions about myself before he actually asked me out. Then he asked me, like, hey, let's go hang out, you know, whenever you have time. And I'm like, all right, like, you know, let's go see a movie or something. So he took me to a movie. We went to, I think it was like Studio Movie Girl or something like that. And we walk in there, and he's like, yeah, you order what you want. Like, I got you.
And I just got to chime in real quick, because Studio Movie Girl is something that's not. I'm from the East Coast, New York, and we didn't have Studio Movie Girl, but out here. So that's basically like the movies. But like, they bring the food to you.
They bring the food, so like, you order it.
Like, you cater.
Yeah,
they cater it
to you. So like, you order it and they bring it out to you, or whatever.
You just kill two birds with one stone. So you don't got to be like, all right, let's go to the movies, and then after that, hopefully go to a restaurant. No. You could actually
you can actually eat there.
The food.
Yeah, I like, and that was my first time going, so I was like super excited, and I'm like, all right, I know what I'm gonna order. And we get there, and I forgot what movie we're watching. I don't remember, but we watched the movie. He wasn't like, it wasn't awkward. Like, he was really respectful. So I'm like, all right, this is going good. And like, we walk out, and we like, you don't pay. Obviously, you don't pay before, you know, you eat. You have to pay after. So you buy the tickets, and then you go into the studio, and like, you eat, and then you swipe your card after so you can pay. So he went up to go pay the ticket, and I thought, okay, you know, I'm just gonna wait here, my little, you know, cute outfit, cute purse, and just wait here till he's done. And this guy's card gets declined. And I'm not saying like, you know, maybe
it's the wrong card.
I'm not trying to sound mean or anything. Right, but, you know, he asked me out on a date. Like, was he not sure he had money, or I don't know. But then we leave, and he comes up to me, like, we're about to leave, and I thought, okay, you know, he probably already paid. And he's like, oh, my card's declined. And I'm like, oh. We'll have them run it again. Like, I'm like trying to like not, cause I know he's embarrassed. Oh, and I felt really bad. I'm like, I don't want him to be embarrassed. Like, don't be embarrassed. Like, the date was going all right, you know?
So you ended up paying?
I ended up paying. Oh, man. And if you've been to Studio Movie Girl,
man,
y'all know that place ain't cheap. So, I mean, he paid about, I want to say like $12 for the tickets. Maybe 12, 20, I don't know, one of those. It wasn't higher than that. But the food's expensive at Studio Movie Girl. And we both ate. So I'm sitting here like, oh my God. So like, I had to pull my credit card out. Like, after they ran it, like, I think they ran it like 3 times. Because he's like, maybe it didn't work. And I think he ended up calling his dad saying his car wasn't working. And I'm like, do I wait here like to see if his dad or his mom will show up like with money? I'm like, this is so like, it was embarrassing. But I'm just like, all right, I'll pay. I ended up pulling my card out, and I had to like pay or whatever, and it was so awkward.
Oh man,
that's where like that was probably like I wouldn't consider like the worst date, but it was like a bad
but here's the thing, right? Did he? Because things happen, right?
Yeah.
So was there follow up to where he took you out this time and paid? Like, did he feel compelled to be like, thanks, you got this, didn't mean for it to happen, I got you on the next one? Did that ever happen?
No, he said he paid me back. He's like, I'll pay you back, and he didn't pay me back. And like, I'm not the type of person that's gonna call you and be like, where's my money? Like, I'm not gonna do that. That's rude. So I'm not gonna do that. But if he asked me out, he did ask me out again, and I had to really think about this, and I was like, no, let's not do that again.
And he had the nerve to ask me out
again, and like, I had went home and like told my sister, and like, what's funny is that his friend was hitting up my sister, so they wanted to go like on a double date. So like the next date was gonna be like a double date, and my sister was like, Mariah, like, no, like let's not go, like I don't want to go. And then she's like, maybe we should, and like we were thinking about it, and I was just like, do you remember?
Y'all both gonna end up paying for the bill. No, you better be careful.
No, he told my sister, I know your sister probably doesn't want to go on a date with him because his card didn't work, but I promise you this guy has money. And like, I couldn't do it. Like, I felt bad, but I just like, I don't want to go through that again. Like, maybe it was because he was a younger guy, and maybe I like older men. I don't know. I don't know.
Probably, so. He probably, yeah, it was a lesson learned. It was a lesson learned, because that's just super. That's tough. That's tough.
It's bad. I don't want them to think like anything bad about me, or anything like that, just because I didn't go out again with him just because he couldn't pay the bill. Like, that wasn't the point. It's just. What
do you think about like people who go half and half on dates, like first dates?
First dates, I think the guy, if he's going to ask you out, he's gonna pay for the date. He asked you out. He called you, asked you out. I think he should pay. But I mean, if you're going on like a date, maybe like the 5th or 4th date, I would pay on one of the dates. That's the kind of person I am. Yeah, I think you should. 4th or 5th date, yeah, I think you should be able to pay half and half. But first dates, guys, like,
I know
the guys out there, y'all know this. Like, y'all should pay for that's what I believe. Like, the guys should. I mean,
I've gone on dates and I've had women offer. I don't let them, but it's cool that they offer, and I think there's something to be said, being that they offer, to pay what once the bill comes or whatever. And I'm like, nah, I got it. It's cool. But I haven't. I don't know. I just don't have it in me to be like, see if she fronting. Be like, yeah, all right, go ahead. You pay for it just to see, just to see if that call gonna go through, or if that was just like the okey doke, like let them think I would, but ain't no money on this card, man.
That's funny.
No, but I agree with you, fellas. If you out there, man, if you taking these girls out, and it's you who solicited, you gotta pay for it, man. And if you don't want to do nothing expensive, you don't gotta do nothing expensive, right? You could do some fun things or whatever. Like, I think people take the first date like totally overboard at times. Like, you don't know the person, but you don't know the person well enough to know.
That's true, but like, if you're like on a texting or a texting game before like the date, before you ask the girl out, get to know her, get to know what she likes. So if like a guy would message me asking me like getting to know things about me, I love surprises. So when a guy asks me like, hey, if I take you out on a date, where do you want to go eat? I'm like, oh, surprise me. And I usually tell him like what I like. Like, I love Italian, I love seafood, I love Mexican food. I'm like, take me somewhere, it doesn't really matter, to me. And then I love when they surprise me at a nice dinner. That's nice. I don't consider a movie.
What's a really, really nice date then that you've been on?
A really, really nice date I've been on?
Or one that's impressed you? Because that's the thing, right? Guys sometimes feel like you got to do so much to impress women before you really even get to know them like that. Like, but what's a date that you've been on? You're like, this was pretty nice.
Nothing too fancy. I wish it would have been more like a fancy date type thing, because I like that. But I guess the nicest date I have been on would be considered one would be the guy took me ice skating.
Okay. And
it was really fun. Like, I guess we got to see the silly part of each other, and I like to joke around and just be goofy, because that's the type of person that I am. So when we went, like, I could definitely be myself. It was really fun.
Yeah, that's what I aim for.
Yeah, like a fun date.
Like I try to do fun things. Like you see the area I'm in, a pretty nice area, so it's like, okay, let's go to over here, over there, and gaming spot, like whatever, and compete because I'm competitive.
Yeah, let's
and
just go.
We play the little basketball thing where you the little game thing where you with the ball. Fun. And it's like, I'm trying to win. She's trying to win. And it's like, you see these women, like, they so competitive. It's like, what is this? Like, okay. But yeah, it's all about, to me, I feel like it's about having fun, right? Mm-hmm. And because imagine, like, you don't, okay, texting aside, like, you didn't really text like that, right? Mm-hmm. But it's like, you meet somebody, you're like, all right, let's go on a date, whatever, pick a thing. Like, the most awkward thing is, like, sitting across from somebody at a restaurant and having to force yourself to have a conversation while being interrupted at that, right? Because you ready to eat, it's just like and you're like so it's just like that whole thing, that setup is just like you work your way when you're more comfortable.
Like I love athletic stuff, so going to a basketball game, going to a football game, like I love my Dallas Cowboys, I love the Mavs. I'm a sportsy girl, so I love going to like events like that. So even a concert, like I would consider that a really good date. What I don't consider a good first date would be a movie, because you're sitting in silence and no one's talking to each other. You're watching a movie in a dark room, like not really get to know the person. So that's a cute second date, third date, but a first date when you're getting to know the person, like, I
don't know, man. I like to go to movies by myself. I'm gonna keep it honest with you, because sometimes, like, what it is, like, I love movies, and so like if there's a movie like I really want to see, like let's say for example like Star Wars or something, right? Like you see how people are so like they gotta see Star Wars, right? And it's like I don't want to take somebody who kind of want to see or don't really care for it.
It's not gonna be into it like you are.
It's not into it, and it's just like I'm into it, man. So it's like if you're not really into it, like I'd rather you not. Because then I feel like I gotta maybe explain, like I gotta try to get you into it. So it's like nah, like this person is, you know what I mean? And it's like it's so like even like Avengers, like I went to see Avengers, and it's like it was so good to me. Like I had to see it like 2 times. Like I really really liked it, and like I went with someone, and it was just like it was okay.
Yeah, it was alright.
What you mean it was okay? This is like the best Marvel movie. I was like, man, this is why I go by myself, because I can't, like, I be killing my vibe. I like to like really enjoy it. You know what I mean, for myself. But I feel you. I can't do the especially like a first date movie.
I know. Like, do you know the person? Like, it's to me, it's like, eh. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think cute ice cream dates, breakfast dates. I love Dallas, so like the little brunch spots, you know what I mean? Like a patio, getting to talk to that person. I love coffee, so a nice cappuccino at a Starbucks, or there's coffee shops down here. That's the kind of person I am. Like that's like my class level, you know what I mean? So I just try to find. You said
you're a Starbucks addict, right? I remember you saying you're one of those who just have to go into Starbucks every morning.
I cut it back though. Like I try to have Starbucks like once a week. I'll reward myself. I'm like, all right, so I did this all in the gym, or I did that, so let me reward myself with some Starbucks. Like today, for example, I had Starbucks. I love Starbucks.
I told you I won't be in there too much because it's so addictive. But how has it changed much since the situation, like how they changed the rule, like everybody could use the bathroom, like with that whole what happened a couple months ago, like because I haven't really been in there since then like that. But like, do you feel like the vibe is different? Like, do you go in there and notice like it's way more packed? Or
no, like I feel like it's the same. I mean, I do go early in the mornings. Like
so
it doesn't really. No, there's the people getting their coffee, they're walking out. But I did hear Starbucks is actually taking out their straws. They're not going to have straws anymore.
I think they're trying to just save money.
Yeah,
with the whole straws thing. I think it's a good, because
I love the straws.
It's an expense that they could do without. So we'll see. I'm not really a big addict, so it doesn't really matter to me. But I figured, I think it has a lot to do with the area you're in too, as far as like the whole bathroom stuff.
Yeah.
Like I think again, being in Texas, like a lot, like you said, everybody's like driving to go where they go. Like nobody's really just walking around aimlessly. It's too hot. It's been like 100 degrees for like the last
so hot. And
100 days.
What's worse is that I love to work out outside. I love to do track workouts. So I'm just like,
you'd be burnt. Right?
It's bad.
It's bad.
Like I was just like, man, do I want to go run outside today? I'm like, nah, let's just go to the gym. I'll just be in the gym doing my cardio on the treadmill. But I love to go do track workouts. It's just, I love to get my cardio in. The way I can run the laps and just get distance and stuff. So yeah, it's just too hot right now.
So I know you mentioned earlier to me about you're going to be taking your first trip, your first time on a plane, right?
Yes.
Wow.
I know.
I'm sure that's exciting.
It is.
And you said you're going where again? Was it
I'm
Puerto
going
Rico?
to Cancun.
Cancun.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll be there for 3 days. Yeah, so it was like, honestly, it was last minute. Like my whole family were like, let's take a trip somewhere. Like, let's go somewhere. Okay, so at first I was like, I can't afford this trip. Like, it's so expensive. And I'm like, all right, never mind. I ended up booking, my mom ended up booking our flight tickets, and she's like, all right, like, let's all put the money down for our room, and like, we'll get all that stuff figured out. So I ended up doing that. So we booked our trip and everything, and they were like, oh, we don't have passports. Like, we all need passports to go to Mexico. So I ended up booking my flight, and I got my passport in, and I leave in 3 weeks. I leave to Cancun. And
that's gonna be exciting.
I'm so excited. And this is actually my first time. This year is the first year I feel comfortable wearing a bathing suit. I've never worn a bathing suit, guys. Like, I've never worn a bathing suit. You
just wasn't comfortable in your body at the time?
Wasn't.
You just,
yeah.
okay.
I would literally swim. I wouldn't even go to the pool. I didn't go to the pool at all last year. The year prior to that, I just would wear like a tank top and shorts, and like I wouldn't even really get wet. And I've been working out so hard because I just want my body, I had just grew up with insecurities, and I didn't like that. I would look in the mirror and I would see something totally different than what somebody else would see. And I think it was more of a mind game to me. So I just wanted to change that whole mentality and tell myself, I am beautiful. I'm going to look this way. This is the way God made me. Like, this is my body. Like, I have to love who I am. First off, you got to love God, and you got to love yourself first. So, I just put that in my head, stayed confident to who I was. I ended up buying like 3 new bikinis. So I'm like really excited to wear those. And I know people see my posts on Instagram, and they're like, they think of me as this one chick, and then other people perceive me to be this other person, which I want people to know before you judge who I am or judge my photos that I take. Get to know who I am before you start making assumptions. And I mean that respectfully. Like, that can really mess with a person's head. And at first it would mess with me. I'm like, oh, this person doesn't like me because I post this, or they're not talking to me, or this guy won't talk to me, or he thinks of this, it would get to my head. So I put that aside, and if you want to talk to me, you want to get to know me, know who I am before you start judging what you see on social media.
No, I agree. Social media could be very misleading.
Very.
It could be very misleading. And, you always tell people that don't believe everything you see on there. Right? So even when you're showing, I always say it's like a filtered version of the person, right? Like, they're showing you what they want you to see. So sometimes you might think somebody has it really, really good, and they don't. And sometimes people don't really show a lot, and then you meet them and you realize they got so much going on. They just choose not to really show it out there, right? So it's like, you just can't judge it one way or the other. Like you said, honestly, I look at social media as like from a business perspective.
That's exactly how I look at it too.
Because I kind of went through that phase like everyone. That phase ended with me, honestly, with like Facebook, right? Like, remember when like in the beginning it was just like, you got to post this picture, you get a ton of friends, this and that, and then halfway, like down the line there, as other things became more popular, like the Snapchats and everything, I just realized that, man, half of these people that I'm trying to impress or putting up pictures about, looking for comments or whatever,
right,
don't really matter, or you see, or the people that matter to you that you see every single day, like, your interaction with them has not changed based on what you post. You know what I mean? Exactly. Like, the people who know you, exactly. And those people, you just gain more followers and people who don't really know you that has this perception. And it's just like, I'm not gonna revolve my life or create something for your entertainment. If I'm gonna create anything, it's gonna be to push what it is that I want to push. Right. That whether it's for your business or whatever message that you want to portray, it's like, I'm gonna push that out. If you like it, great. You know what I mean? If you don't, that's cool too.
That's cool too.
You know what I mean? Like,
real.
it's all good. Like, I'm not gonna create a false thing. So I definitely understand where you're coming from with that. A couple last things. How do you, in terms of your, the confident fit, what are some of the things that you got going on that you want to let people know about? Do you have anything new coming up for those projects? I know you was talking about potentially doing clothes.
Yes.
Right? You're going to do some shirts.
I do.
Things like that.
So not just that, I mean, I have problems shopping with finding the right clothes that's going to fit my body, because I am more curvier on my hips and my legs, and just, I'm just more curvy. And Fashion Nova is like my top where I shop the most, because honestly,
Fashion Nova's taking over.
I love Fashion Nova. Shout out Fashion Nova. But like, I literally love their clothing. Like, their shorts fit me just right. I don't like my butt hanging out of my shorts, so they like fit me right. So it would be cool to like design my own shorts. Mm-hmm. And I was talking to my mom about that the other day, and I was telling her, like, I think it'd be cool for someone to design clothing for curvy girls, like, like shorts that you're going to feel comfortable in. And my mom was like, why don't you just do it? Because I'm already making like my Confident Fit t-shirts and tank mm-hmm. tops. And my mom was like, why don't you just try to do your shorts? I'll go get a sketch pad, draw up what you like, That's just how I am. I'm very creative when it comes to business things. And that's not even what I went to college for. So I'm like, yeah, maybe I should come up with like shorts that fit the curvy body. Mm-hmm. Also want to let people know, because people don't know my full-time job. I am a legal assistant at a law firm. I do that from 8 to 5. It's not what I want to do the rest of my life. I don't want to work behind a desk. Like, I don't want to see myself doing that for the next couple of years, but it's getting me my money. Like, it's getting me by. It pays very well. So, I mean, it's getting me, by. It's helping me pay things I need to pay for. So I'm grateful and I'm thankful, that I have the job that I do. But yeah, and I'm also auditioning for something coming up.
Oh yes. What do you have potentially coming up? If you please share.
I have American Idol coming up in September.
American Idol.
Yeah.
Who judges that nowadays? 'Cause I haven't watched it in a while.
It's Katy Perry.
It's Katy Perry.
Luke
Okay.
Bryan and Lionel Richie.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's them. They're the judges now.
So Simon been going.
Yeah, Simon. You know what? I wish Simon would have still been on there. I would love to audition for him, just because he's such an honest person. Like, if you suck, he's gonna tell you, you don't got it. I just, I love the fact that he's honest that way. But yeah, like, I think it'd be really cool to audition for American Idol, and I've had a couple of friends on there last season, so I think it'd be really great exposure.
And it's for the singing, right? Because American Idol's just singing.
It's just singing. Yeah, I kind of just want to try it. I don't care you never know. If you get a no, you get a no. Mm-hmm. One no is not going to kill me. So maybe I just want to give it a little try, just see what happens.
Mm-hmm. So ultimately, your dream, your goal would be what? Like, would it be to be an entertainer for the, in terms of the music and dancing? Like, is that kind of something that because I know you mentioned your job and you said that's not really, which is natural. I mean, and I always tell people, even if you have a 9 to 5, right? Like, make that your side hustle. Like, still focus on your passion, because if you make the passion the side hustle and you prioritize the job, you don't really you're not gonna. One is gonna pull you away from the other, it's gonna go where your attention goes. And most of the time, it's gonna remain with the 9 to 5 job, the 8 to 4 job, whatever. And you're not gonna really give your all to your passion. So for you, in a perfect scenario, or what you're working towards, what would it be for you?
I want to be an entertainer. I want to sing and dance and perform, because I feel like the stage is my home. Like, you put me on a stage, you put some music on, I'm gonna dance, I'm gonna sing. I've come out of my shell a lot. I used to be really shy. I've come out of my shell a lot, and I've come a long way. And right now I have amazing support from my family and from my friends. And they keep pushing me. They keep telling me, like, you're doing so good. Like, we want to see you. We'll be at your next performance. Like, we want to be there. So it's just, I want to entertain. Like, I see myself doing that. Like, I see myself creating a platform. So, and I feel like I have the mentality. I have the motivation and the want and the passion to be able to do that.
What's your advice? I guess we'll end with this. What's your advice to women out there who, have passions and things that they want to do, but they may not feel like they have to compromise, who they are because of whatever perception they may have? Like, what advice do you give to those women who's like, I have to be a certain way in order to get to my goal, or I have to appease this person? They feel like they have to compromise themselves a lot. Like, because I notice you have a good support system. You're able to kind of stay focused on what it is that you want to do. But what advice would you give that person who may not have the support system that you do? How do you keep that person going?
That's a really good question. Always follow your dreams and push yourself and love yourself. Tell yourself you are confident. Like, you got to motivate. You got to have some sort of motivation. And what I have done, I have gotten a journal and I wrote down my goals and when I want to accomplish them. And I've written down some like Bible scriptures that I get, and I just pray about it. I motivate myself, and I just look in the mirror and I tell myself I can do it. And it's good to talk to somebody. What I had the problem was keeping everything bottled in and not talking about my goals and stuff. And I think it's important for any person to talk about their goals and what they want to do, because you never know. Somebody could give you a great advice, a pep talk on something that you need to hear. And my friends and family have both given me those pep talks, told me to keep going. So definitely push yourself, make a goal for yourself, set your goals high. Don't try to aim don't aim low because you think that you can only aim there. No, I don't believe in that. I believe if you have a dream and you want to chase that dream, aim it high and work for it. That's how I was with the dancing. I've always wanted to dance backup for somebody. Like, I've always wanted to get exposure in somehow. And I worked really hard on perfecting my dancing, taking criticism is another thing. Like, gotta take that criticism. Like, I cried when I heard like my mom telling me like, you suck, or someone tells you you're bad. And it did, like, it wasn't good. And I had to get that in my head. Like, I'm not the best. I need to work harder. I need to fix it. Take criticism well. Listen. Don't try to think that you know everything. Don't do that. Sit down, listen to the teacher, listen to whoever is teaching you, because they may have been through that already. So I just want people to know that they can do anything they set their mind to. And I look up to people that have reached their goals. I'm like, if they can do it, why can't I? You know what I mean? I'm just have that mentality in my head. Like, if they can get there, I can get there. If they have goals, I can set goals for myself. So definitely making that list will have you accountable. Yeah, exactly. So, and I'm still writing my goals down in my journal. So, and reading my scriptures and putting those in there, and really aiming to be a better person. And definitely love yourself. Love yourself. That's all advice I got.
Before we go, where can people find you? Tell us your social media. Where can we find you? You
can find me on Instagram. It's @Mariah, MARIIAH. You can find me my Snapchat, Mariah, MARIAH _2014. I don't really get on Twitter that much, so I'm not going to give that out. But I'm mostly on Instagram and Snapchat, so hit me up.
Awesome. Guys, people, hit her up. Super talented. She's on her way. And when she gets there, I hope she remembers that she did this podcast, and she take a brother along, give me a little shout out or something.
I got you.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, guys, for having me.
If you're out there, Built for Anything podcast on iTunes, Podbean, Google Play, YouTube, anywhere. All right, Built for Anything. Thank you guys for listening. Peace.